Hi friends, it's Tracy from the Financial Freedom Diary, and today we are going to be doing my week 1 check-in for January 2020. If you're new to my channel, I count my weeks as Sunday through Saturday, and I track them on my weekly check-in. This is specifically for my cash envelopes because this is my greatest opportunity to save money and monitor my spending, which you guys know how you can get in trouble with this. If you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you have subscribed, hey y'all, hope all of you are having a super fantastic Saturday. And if it's raining where you are, you guys stay safe. So let's get started with the check-in. Oh, I need to let you guys know this is going to be a wordy video because I'm going to tell you guys about what happened with the job interview. So I want to start with my expenses, and also I'm going to talk to you guys about the interview and stuff for that job I was telling you all about. I'm going to apologize. It's raining and storming right now, and yeah, I don't care for thunderstorms, but so if you might be seeing it jumping or stuff, that's what it is. I'm reacting to that. But my shopping this week was almost on par. I know I went over in my personal. This has just been a week. Just sad things have been happening to other people, and I had a lot of inflection or reflection. One of those two words, I want to say reflection, to do this week to kind of figure out where I want to be career-wise and stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of go over my numbers and talk to you guys about that. So this video is going to be a little bit chatty, and I want to warn you guys right off the bat. So this past Sunday I did well. I did laundry for $10, and I went grocery shopping at Walmart and Aldi's, and I spent $24.88 at Walmart and $50.28 at Aldi. So I'm trying to mix in more vegetables, and so I've been making breakfast casseroles, so I can have my breakfast already pre-made, and all I need to do is scoop it up, put it in a dish, and just go to work. So I'm working on that, getting that breakfast in order, and now I gotta work on my snacks to help me get through the day, especially when I get stressed, because you guys know I'm a stress eater and a stress shopper. So I got the shopping under control. Now I got to get the eating under control. I did go to the cafeteria on Thursday for $7.64, and I spent $36. Really, I think it was $35.70 on Etsy, and it was for my planner cake stickers for the month of February. And this $11 personal, and it's a gift. This is for a co-worker. They were passing around something for a co-worker who lost her brother, and I've worked with this lady for like 8 years. She was the person when I first came in who trained me to do development, and so it's really sad because her brother had to go into hospice, and so I just took it out of my personal money to put in with everyone else. I'm trying to stay reasonable because you guys know I can get carried away. But see, $50.28 plus $24.88 is $75.16 was what I spent in groceries. Excuse me. $7.64 in restaurants. But yeah, we got a nice little thunderstorm coming through, and it might be a tornado or something's going on with the weather. So I got like 6 stores to do this weekend, and so I'm like, if I can't do them all today, I'll have to do them all tomorrow. Fun and games, y'all. I didn't spend anything on household. I spent $10 on laundry, and personal I spent $47. I'm over goal, but it's okay. It's okay. And I found out that other column that Sarah Marie had put on here, her remaining per week. She takes that number, divides it up by the remaining weeks to see if she has enough money to spend per week. I think I take care of that, or I feel like I take care of that in my week-to-week budgets, not budget, but my week-to-week goal setting, because it keeps me from overspending too much, because I know I'll set the goal at what that weekly rate should be, or close to what that weekly rate should be. I know when I grocery shop, I typically will go high one week, low the next week, high one week, low the next week. That's kind of like the rhythm to how I do it. But everybody else has, everyone has a rhythm, and it's different for everyone. So my total remaining should be $224. Because I'm only counting the bills, it may be $225. I should have left that. May want to leave that. Let me go and check and see what I got before I write that in. It should be $224.84. Sorry, I just changed up what I was going to do midstream. So here's my grocery money. Yep, 51, 52. 225. I remember using some change in the grocery store. So it's 225. Let me put this back in the first order. And I apologize because I do not like coming on camera and having to clear my throat so many times. It's just kind of nuts. So I started off with 40 in restaurants. I spent $7.64. I should have $32. Let's see, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. Yeah, I'm going to focus on my health this year too, and try to get myself back into, some kind of fit and fighting order. Because having my back hurt me, scared me. So 55 minus 0, of course, is just 55. Laundry, I should have 35 left there. But anywho, the interview. I had gotten an email before I went on vacation around Christmas that the job had posted, but I still wasn't feeling in my spirit that I wanted to be. 2035. And so, I just told myself by December 26th, if you don't feel the need to apply, we won't do it. Because there was something about the whole situation, and I was just praying, and I had wrote my list of things. And so let me double check my household with you guys. 20, 40, 55. So it's out there. Double check my list. I wrote everything out. I was still bothered by something. And the person who had referred me, I call her friend, and I call her friend because we don't work together. We used to work together 5 years ago. And so personal I had 100. I spent 47, so $53. But working with her was scary to me. Not like he was scared of her physically. It was like if things didn't go her way. So 51, 2, 3. Things didn't go her way or something like that, she would just make up things. Like she gets real suspicious and make up things, and she never apologizes for what she does and the things that she says. When she finds out that it's incorrect. So all my money's there. So this will be my beginning balance. And so what I spend, I'll subtract that and come over here. And so that's how that little kit works. I'm going to turn the page and get us back to my goals. So groceries, the goal was to spend at most $80. I spent $75.16. So woo, I thought I went over on that one. Restaurants was 10. I spent 7. Household, I was my maximum spending limit was 20. I spent 0. Now personal is the one that I went over by $7. So I'm gonna make a little note that I went over by 7. But it wasn't coming to me at first because it's been 5 years since we worked together, and I didn't remember. It's kind of like the forgive and forget. I may forgive someone, but I typically don't forget because you don't want to walk back into something with a person that you know is a little bit, temperamental. And if they can't have their way, they'll mess up everybody else just because, and she has that temperament. And so I help her with her budgets and stuff. So when she told me about her team, I was okay with that, and I went and met her manager and I met his peer manager, and neither one of the opportunities was just like great for me. It was just like moving from my current situation to another situation that was very similar to my current situation. On her team specifically, her lead developer is going to be retiring either in 2020 or 2021. This guy is like super smart, has written a lot of like macros and things, and I did not want to find myself supporting his macros. Also, one of the objectives on every team member's, their list of objectives, because that's what we get, was for them to learn to support their reports or whatever. So they had to learn to work independently. That is scary to me, because if I have a job, that's what I come in to do naturally. Nobody should have to tell me to not become reliant on one person. And this whole team was relying on this one guy. And I've worked with him from my team, so I know he's a super smart dude. But I did not want to find myself in his position or having to fill that hole. And like Christmas Eve, my friend, she just kept texting me over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, what is in this for you? Why are you, I'm cooking right now. And you guys, I'm like one trick, like I can do this or I can do that. But I'm not spreading myself out to do multiple things. So I had to stop cooking and go. And I'm like, fine, I'm just going to go in here and bid. More than likely, because I told a couple of other guys from my team, and I look at them as being better developers than I am. And they're not on my management team. They're in my department. And so I go to these guys and ask for their suggestions, or we talk about my ideas and stuff. And then they'll tell me if it makes sense, if not, that kind of thing. But so I told them, and so I didn't know if they were going to bid too, because so for me, I had a backup, was that I was going to send some other people who are just as good at their jobs as I am at doing what I do. And so I just went ahead and I bid. Well, when I get back to work, my manager had on my calendar a meeting that wasn't there before I left, and it was to talk about a transition of project management. You all know that's what I've been wanting to do. Neither one of those two teams had anything related to project management available at that time. One manager was upfront. He said no, he didn't have anything. That's not what they do. The other one was like, maybe some years from now, in the future, that kind of thing. Well, this could be 2 to whatever years. Now, one of the things I knew about the person who referred me was that word manager on the back of that title. She will try you, and she will undermine you. She will do all kinds of things. I have seen her, and she does the most to cover up for her lack of ability to do her own job. And I don't want to be in a position where I'm doing my job and her job just to keep the peace, because I don't want her kicking off anything or saying things that are not true. And so they called me. So it's like, meet my manager on a Monday, which was the 30th. They emailed me by that Wednesday, because I had to meet with my mentor who's on my team to get some of her work to see what we were going to transition. So I had a meeting with her, and then they called me by that, because Wednesday was New Year's, wasn't it? So I had to be either Thursday or Friday to tell me my interview was on this past Monday. And so I go to the interview, and you guys, I did not prepare at all. I didn't even try to prepare. That was the sad part, was I didn't even try. And I go in there and the interview was like really easy. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. This is too easy, because I don't understand, because it's a lateral move for me. Lateral moves mean if it's in the same market, same job level, you don't get a pay raise at all. And so I went in knowing that for me, it would just been a change of people that I work with. I'm just checking the dates. I'm sorry, because I'm changing this page. I think Monday and Tuesday were no spend days. Trying to make sure I do this accurately and I'm not lying. See, 105, 19, 110. Okay, yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Those 3 are the ones I spent on. But anywho, I go in. I do what I do. When I'm nervous, I crack jokes. It's a weird thing to do, but yeah. And so I'm talking and we're joking and the whole 9 yards, and we're going through the whole thing. Anyway, after I finish my interview, come back on working, my manager calls me into the office, and they now are saying, okay, we gave you a choice of these 3, pick your poison. And he's like, well, I want you definitely on this 3rd project. And I actually had picked the 1st project, and the 2nd project is going to a guy that's on another team, which I think he's awesome. And so I'm like, cool. Now, now my brain is really churning, and now I'm getting upset and I'm getting nauseous in the whole 9 yards, because I hate disappointing other people. I hate doing that. And my manager is a good guy. That guy on the other team, the job that I've been on, he's a good guy. They have the same spirit where you feel free to talk about your goals and where you want to be in the future. You don't feel like you have to say what they want you to say. But anyway, y'all, I'm sorry I have 4 no spins this week, but this story is getting too long, so let me hurry up. But anyway, so it took me a few days to kind of go through, and then they came back with an offer on the other position. And so it was a pay increase of 7% to go over there. Now, money and where I want to be career-wise, and not comfort in my work environment, but I at least want to feel like I have a fighting chance. And if I do something wrong, it's based on my feedback and not somebody else's, or I at least get an opportunity to defend myself or something. I just know what this girl has done to other people on the team that I came from. And it was a 2-year investigation where it was unfounded. They didn't find anything she said to be true, and it was her the entire time. And she never learned anything from that. And so I turned it down. Now, this manager was so nice, because he called me. He said, go talk to your manager. He asked me if I told my manager I bid on his position. I said no. I said the weird thing is my MD and my manager knew about it when I got back. So it was just weird, because there's some people who don't, like, my manager talks to me every day, but my MD doesn't. I see her, she'll speak if she sees you, but you normally don't talk to her. But she was coming around, and it was just so weird, and I'm just like, oh my God. But anywho, so he tells me, go talk to your manager and tell him that we are offering you 7%. And so he said this happens when they see that you're trying to go somewhere, and now they're listening. You got their attention, and obviously you have the skill set. You're good at what you do, and so they want to keep you. They just didn't want to do something before. He said, I don't know, but I know that's the culture of this company, and so I appreciate that. And so he said, I'm going to send it to you again. Don't turn it down. Go talk to your manager. And so I go and talk to my manager as soon as he walks in, and he's like dropped his bag, and he's like, okay, I'm going to see what we can do. And lo and behold, the camera cut off. So make a long story short, they give me a pay increase of 7%, and I will be doing project management. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be transitioning out of the developer role. I will still have some development that I'm going to do because I do something early in the morning. I check all the jobs. I do all the troubleshooting very early in the morning before anybody else gets there. So I'm going to still continue to do that. And we came up with an action plan for getting the work off of me. And he understood where I felt about how in the past I was handing things to people and they were just pretty much handing it back. And I didn't have any support in trying to get them to take that work. So they're sitting there playing games on their phone, watching videos, or they're so bold and brazen, they would come and hand task to me and tell people outside of our group that I was responsible for it. That was all the stuff that was really getting to me. It's because here I am, I'm senior to them, and they're doing the absolute most. And they've only been with the company for like a year and a half. So that's the good news, is that I am staying in my current role as a project manager. On my first assignment, I'll be working with developers on a team that I already have a very good rapport with. We used to talk to each other, and so it's going to be super, super nice to at least have my first couple of projects, get run to ground and completed with people who I know are going to perform before I'm actually tested with the people that are actually on my manager's team, because they're going to be my most difficult ones to work with. And not 3 of them are going to be okay, but 4 of them are going to be a challenge. They're a challenge to our current project manager. So it's not just about me. And I want to make sure I'm clear about that. But thank you all for listening to me ramble. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing now. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed. And I will catch up on my comments. I just took a little time to make sure I understood where I wanted to move and what my goals were, as far as work and things like that. And sometimes I have to shut all the way off to just focus on that. And you guys have a super fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye.